Welcome, sadhakas. We are getting ready for the transcendental pilgrimage. This pilgrimage is of the order of Vedic Sathapatya, base of Aadi Valmiki Ramayana Text. Let us sit comfortably and let us permit our mind to be ready for having glimpse of transcendental phenomenon, beginning with the Vishnulok and having a reach back in the Vishnulok. Let me state it. We are getting ready for the transcendental pilgrimage of Vedic Sathapatya at the base of the text of Aadi Valmiki Ramayana. It is a transcendental phenomenon beginning from Vishnulok and having a reach back in Vishnulok. This transcendental pilgrimage as transcendental phenomenon is fulfillment of 11,000 transcendental cycles, potentialities for the seventh space as origin of sixth space, the format of our solar universe, parallel to which is the existence phenomenon as Pursha. Let us permit our mind to remain continuously in trance for a prolonged period to imbibe these features and values. Let me state again, this transcendental phenomenon has beginning and end at the same moment. It is within Vishnulok. Beginning with the Vishnulok, reaching back to the Vishnulok, and the 11,000 years duration is the Ram Rajya of Rama, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Let us have the text of Aadi Valmiki Ramayana before us. Let us glimpse, let us have comprehensive overview of this text. This text as it is the text of Ramayana. The word formulation Ramayana is the core formulation, and as such, one shall be parallel with the values of this formulation. The formulation Ramayana is of TC value 26, and the 10 folds of this formulation as are tabulated in the table on the screen sequentially take us through the values 1, 4, 8, 26, 84, 178, 87, 88, 210, and 436, making grand total 1122, which is 11 multiplied by 102, and 102 is 17 multiplied by 6. These all features of this summation value as well as of 10 sequential values of 10 folds of formulation Ramayana TC value 26 are the basic leads. Then the other pair of core formulations are Rama and Ravana. Now, this pair of formulations deserve to be visited individually as well as collectively so that we can have a comprehensive view of the basic distinctive potentialities of these pair of focal personalities of this episode. Ram as formulation and Ravan as formulation when are viewed from their 10 inner folds for each formulation, then we are going to be face to face with the basic difference of this pair of chase institutional setups, and it is only by having appreciation of the same that we will be in a position to have real appreciation of this episode. This transcendental phenomenon deserves to be followed in terms of the distinctive features of the folds of this pair of formulations. At each and every step, there will follow the basic transcendental distinctiveness, and it is this which deserves to be imbibed, and it is for this imbibing that we are getting ourselves ready for this transcendental pilgrimage. A step ahead, we have to be of clear view as that when Rama goes back to the Vishnulok, the 5 personalities, 5 institutions which continue existence as Bhutal Amar, they are Vibhishan, a formulation of TC value 36, Hanuman, a formulation of TC value 41, Jambavan, a formulation of value 32, Man as well of TC value 32, and Divid of TC value 30. These 5 formulations that way are the foundational formulations or foundational values and setups which are lively and are continuously available throughout from beginning to end of this text, or in other words, from beginning to end of this transcendental pilgrimage. That being so, it will be our initial exercise to reach at the 10 folds of each of these formulations. While we will be through these inner 10-fold setups for these 5 formulations, we will be face to face with the needed insight for having blissful success of this pilgrimage. That being so, we have to proceed, beginning with the triple formulations, namely Adi, Valmiki, and Ramayana. These three formulations, namely Adi of TC value 10, Valmiki of TC value 30, and Ramayana of TC value 26. These three formulations together in a way make a complete roadmap for the entire pilgrimage beginning to end of this transcendental phenomenon. As such, before we say that we are ready for this transcendental pilgrimage, we shall ensure that really we are face to face with, and really we have imbibed the internal sequential unfolding of 10 steps of each of these three formulations. Once we will be parallel with these 30 steps of 10 folds of these three formulations, we will be ensuring ourselves the success of this transcendental pilgrimage. With it, we will be in a position to first of all have a comprehensive view in terms of the consolidated table of the organization of the text of Aadi Valmiki Ramayana as 7 sargas of 645 sargas and 23,688 shlokas. In addition, they too will be prakshipt and the foundational format of Devanagari letters. These 7 kandas and their sargas and shlokas, as per this classification, as per this consolidation of this text, that way becomes the first outline of this transcendental pilgrimage. These values as 77 sargas of Kanda 1, Balkanda, 119 sargas of Kanda 2, and likewise the shlokas of Balakanda and Ayodhya Kanda and so on are well-defined frames. These are well-defined milestones of this transcendental path. This transcendental path is properly formatted path, and each and every phase and stage of progress of pilgrimage along this format is very well indexed, and this consolidated table of Aadi Valmiki Ramayana text as 7 kandas, 645 sargas, and 23,688 shlokas are the ensured milestones, and we have to travel, we have to progress, and we have to index our progress only in terms of the same. With it, we shall be making ourselves well sure as that the internal organization sequential steps are as is happening transcendence, beginning with the origin of a 3 space, that is 4 space, and there being a sequential reach up till the 7th space as an origin of a 6th space. On the table, the depiction is that 4th space is origin of 3 space, and the formatted value and the format of the origin of 3 space is of value 21 as the summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 3 a full unit together with hypercube 3 of half unit. And it is this enlightenment which has been shared by Narad Muni with Valmiki Rishi. And this transcendence as 4 space as dimension will take us to 6 space as a domain. That way, the transcendental pilgrimage begins by having oneself placed at the origin of a 3 space, and then sequential displacement is to be of transcendence as transition from 4 space as origin of 3 space to 5 space as origin of 4 space, 6 space as origin of 5 space, and 7 space as an origin of a 6 space. So this will bring us face to face with as that it is by reach at the origin of a 6 space that the transcendental pilgrimage has a formal beginning. The formal beginning of the transcendental pilgrimage for which we are making ourselves ready, it begins at the origin seat of a 6 space, that is at the origin seat of a Surya, at the origin seat of a Pursha, at the heart, cavity of heart of human being as Golok, as Vishnulok. That way, we have to make ourselves ready accordingly, and it is by having this readiness which is to ensure our success of the pilgrimage. The sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to ensure the preparedness for the pilgrimage shall also have a visit to the formats of formulations Bal, Ayodhya, Aranak, Kishkinda, Sundar, Yuddha and Uttar, which make the respective kandas. Therefore, the depiction on the computer screen is kanda-wise, and these 7 depictions bring us face to face with the Sathapatya, the geometric formats of these phases and stages of this text. In fact, this transcendental pilgrimage along the Sathapatya geometric format is going to be of these 7 phases and stages. So we have to sequentially travel, and then we have to sequentially transcend from first phase to the second phase, from second to third, and so on. Ultimately, we have to reach up till the 7th phase and stage of the synthetic format, synthetic Sathapatya format of this text, of this pilgrimage. With it, the reach of the readiness will provide us further indexing yardstick, indexing stone, and it is going to be that we shall be face to face with the broad features of seven space body, that is of hypercube 7, which is of domain boundary formulation a raised to power 7 is to 14 b raised to power 6. Further, the dimensional frame of 7 space is a setup of 7 transcendental dimensions. Now, each dimension being transcendental, being 5 space in the role of a dimension, so the dimension itself will make value 15, because 5 space itself is a solid dimensional setup. So it is a setup of 5 solid dimensions, so of value 15. So each of these 7 transcendental dimensions are of value 15 each. And then 7 space is of 15 geometries range. Hypercube 7 is of 15 versions. And value 15 is placed in between 14 and 16, while 14 goes parallel with 14 components of the boundary of 7 space, and 16 goes parallel with the boundary components of 8 space. So 15 is the in-between placement value, and it in fact is the value which is the value of formulation Rama. And we are urging, our intensity is of being of potentialities to imbibe this transcendental pilgrimage of value 15 itself. Now, sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to have distinctive comprehension of the value 15, then one is to, first of all, have a focus upon value 14. There are 14 manvantras. Each kalp is organized as 14 manvantras, 14 manus domains. And on the computer screen are names of these 14 manus: Swambhu, Swavrich, Uttam, Tamas, Revat, Chakshus, Vevast, Savarani, Daksavarani, Brahmsavarani, Dharmsavarani, Rudrasavarani, then Roche and Broth. Now, all these values are already there. The value 15 transcends their form. So the pilgrimage for which we are getting ready, and the pilgrimage we are going to undertake, is the pilgrimage of the transcendental features and values which transcend these 14 manvantras. As such, we shall be very clear in our mind as to the transcendental pilgrimage which we are going to undertake. And further, it will be blissful to know that the end of this pilgrimage that way is going to be that Rama and Sita are bestowing the grace upon love and Kush as Dakshin Kaushal Desh and Uttar Kaushal Desh to Bharat. Bestowing this grace upon Taksh and Pushkar of Takshila and Pushkalvat, Sumitra's Lakshman, bestowing the grace upon Angad and Chandraketu of Karupathesh of 2 parts and Sumitra's Shatrughan, bestowing this grace upon Bhupketu and Subahu as of Madhupuri in Vidisha. From 14 Manvantras domains to these 8 descendants of Ikshvaku Vansh is the pair of endpoints of this transcendental pilgrimage. Sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be ready for this pilgrimage shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to glimpse and imbibe the placement of Surya, sun, within a space of a pair of hemispheres enveloped within 5 folds each Akash, and then one is to transcend while having placement at the origin of the Surya, sun itself. And for it, we have to begin with the shlokas of the first sarga and to reach at the shlokas of the last sargas of each kanda. Balkanda's first sarga is of 100 shlokas, while the last sarga is of 29 shlokas. Likewise, the beginning and end as of placement values of northern, southern hemispheres are to be transcendentally coordinated. Thank you very much.